Welcome to Emotions and Stories. She once led the crowd. Today, no one hears her voice. Have you ever wondered what the silence of abandoned dreams feels like? Let's begin at today's story, A Mother's Silent Cry. Anita stared at the steaming cup of tea on the kitchen counter, the fifth one she had made that morning. No one had touched the others. Her hands trembled slightly, not from the heat, but from the weight of another invisible day. She was once the university topper, the girl who had been on the front page of the local newspaper, who had turned down a high paying job to get married to the man she loved. People had clapped when she spoke on stage. Now, they barely heard her when she spoke at home. Marriage with Ritesh had started like a dream. Flowers, promises, shared laughter under streetlights. You will never have to dim your light for anyone, he had once told her. But dreams have a strange way of fading away quietly. On their first anniversary, she had gifted him a handmade scrapbook of their memories. He had smiled, patted her head, and said, "You have too much free time, Anita." She laughed it off. Back then, she still had hope. After their first child, Aryan, Anita began waking up before dawn. She would feed him, cook, iron Ritesh's clothes, pack tiffins, clean up, and still manage to look presentable before anyone else woke up. But Ritesh never noticed. Years passed, another child came, little Myra. Anita's days blurred into chores and instructions barked from behind phone screens. At first, Myra was a little shadow, following her around the house, holding the edge of her dupatta, clinging to her every word. But as she grew, something changed. Myra stopped talking about her school day. She started answering in nods and shrugs. And worst of all, she began mimicking Ritesh's tone. "Mom, you're always nagging. Why do you wear the same boring clothes every day? You don't know anything about Insta. Please, don't talk in front of my friends and embarrass me." Anita would smile faintly and walk away. But those words stung deeper than any silence. One evening, she burned her hand while cooking and dropped the hot pan. The scream startled Myra. Ritesh came running, not to help, but to scold. "What the hell, Anita? Can't you be careful? You scared the kids." She sat on the floor, hand blistering, tears falling. While Myra hugged her father and said, "She always overreacts, Dad." Later that night, Ritesh said, "You're becoming too emotional. Maybe read something or take up yoga or do something." She looked at him in disbelief. Read, read something? The woman who once devoured books and authored winning essays couldn't remember the last thing she had read that wasn't a grocery list. Her son Aryan had started mocking her too. "You don't even work, Mom. Why are you always so tired?" Once, during a parent teacher meeting, she tried telling a teacher about Aryan's talent. Aryan interrupted. "Don't mind her. Ma doesn't know anything about science." Everyone chuckled. Anita smiled politely. But inside, something quietly withered. Then came her birthday. She had reminded everyone of the day before. Not that she expected gifts, just a moment of love. But the next morning, she found herself alone at the breakfast table. No cake, no card, not even a happy birthday. She still didn't cry. She simply lit a single candle, stuck it on a leftover muffin, and whispered, "Happy birthday, Anita," to herself. That night, when everyone was asleep, she opened her college journal. Inside were newspaper clippings of her interviews, her articles, and a letter from her professor. Anita, you're the kind of mind that changes things. Don't ever let the world shrink you. She ran her fingers over the words as if trying to breathe life into them. Then she looked at her reflection in the mirror. Tired eyes, hair hastily tied, a kurti stained with dal, and for a moment she didn't recognize herself. She still wasn't angry, not even resentful, just empty. As the house lay in silence, Anita sat alone in the kitchen, clutching a cup of untouched tea, her sixth for the day, and wondered, how did I go from being the girl everyone celebrated to the woman everyone overlooks? Will anyone ever see me again? Was this the price of love, of choosing family over self? This was not the only night when she asked herself this question. But just like every other night, there was no answer. I hope you enjoyed today's story. Do let us know in the comments what you think about it. Thank you.